Hello all, welcome to Read to Share. Today's story is called Iron Man, a Marvel Avengers story. Iron Man, real name Anthony Edward Stark, known as Tony. Height 6 foot 1 inches or 6 foot 5 inches when in armor. Weight 190 pounds or 425 pounds when in armor. Powers and abilities. Tony Stark has genius-level intellect, which he used to create his Iron Man armor. Powered by an arc reactor, the armor gives him superhuman strength and durability, as well as the ability to fly and fire repulsor blasts. His armor is also equipped with cutting-edge technology and artificial intelligence and many other gadgets. As a boy, Tony Stark dreamed about how technology could change the world for the better. Tony was just 19 years old when he started designing cutting-edge technology for his family's company, Stark Enterprises. But to create, Tony would need money, space, and resources. The US Army was happy to give him everything he needed, as long as Tony would give their soldiers stronger weapons. The army asked Tony, who was already the head of Stark Industries, to teach their soldiers how to use his weapons to keep evil forces at bay. Tony was still young and was excited to show that he could handle this. Kaboom! Suddenly, while Tony was in a foreign land, an attack broke out. He was blasted off his feet and felt a sharp pain in his chest before slamming into the ground. Everything went black. When Tony woke up, he was surprised to see a smiling face looking down at him. The man's name was Dr. Ho Yinsen. He told Tony his injury had lodged shrapnel very close to his heart. Yinsen had created a powerful magnet that kept the shrapnel in place, preventing it from killing Tony. Suddenly, several warlords barged into the cave where Tony and Yinsen were trapped. They demanded that Tony and Yinsen build powerful weapons for them. If Tony and Yinsen didn't deliver what they wanted, they would be prisoners forever. The two scientists decided they would give these warlords exactly what they wanted, but with a twist. They set to work right away using the tools and equipment the warlords had brought them. It took weeks, but both men worked very hard because they were eager to be set free. Large pieces of grey metal were coming together. They had a power source to run the behemoth, and when the time was up, they put their plan into action. As the warlords approached, Tony strapped himself into the weapon. It wasn't some kind of ray gun or rocket. It was a powered-up battle suit. Yinsen took cover as Tony smashed through their prison door and declared himself an Iron Man. The warlord's weapons hardly made a dent in the grey armor. Iron Man was invincible. He charged towards the warlords and they fled in fear. But escaping wasn't all Tony wanted to do. He couldn't go home without stopping these men from hurting anyone else. He pulled rubble down from the caves, smashing all their weapons to pieces. Tony made it out of the cave, but Yinsen didn't. The guilt weighed heavily on Tony's mind, but there was something else. Tony had a realization that shook him to his core. Many of the weapons he had destroyed were weapons he had created himself. Tony felt ashamed that his work was being used by warlords. He also felt something new. There was just a spark of it, a hint of pride that he had taken weapons away from bad men. Upon returning home, Tony promised that he would never sell weapons to anyone again. Not only that, he would put his genius to work creating things that would make the world better, smarter, and safer. Tony also kept working in secret to refine and redesign his Iron Man armor, so he could protect the world from the weapons he wouldn't be able to stop. Tony would continuously upgrade his armor over the years to come. He fought tirelessly to keep the world safe. Eventually, he became a founding member of the mighty Avengers. Tony Stark wouldn't be remembered for his time creating weapons used for evil. Instead, the world would come to know him as the Red and Gold Armor. The world would call him a superhero, the Golden Avenger. He was Tony Stark, the Iron Man. The end. Thank you for listening.